The Slavs believed that not every death was the end, that the body could extinguish, but the soul could stay, by its own will, or against it. Sometimes it remained because it had unfinished business, vengeance, a craving for answers, pain. Other times, it was born of a mistake, a curse, a sin long forgotten. And sometimes, it stayed because it was hungry, not for bread, not for water, but for life, for what flows beneath the skin, for what makes the eyes see and the heart beat. It is from such cracks between the world of the living and the dead that the Strzyga is born. Not a ghost, not a human, something in between. A being that remembers being alive, but no longer remembers why it died. They believed a Strzyga could be a child born with two souls, or with two hearts, with teeth already in the mouth at birth. A mistake that could not be corrected. Such a child often died young, but that was not the end. It returned, not always immediately, sometimes years later, as a shadow, a cold, hungry, patient shadow. It could also be someone who died suddenly, violently, outside sacred ground, a suicide, a witch, or simply a forgotten soul, buried without memory. If no funeral rite was performed, the soul could not pass on. It wandered, withered, went mad, until it stopped being a soul and became hunger. The Strzyga had many faces. Sometimes it appeared as a woman, too beautiful, too silent, with eyes far too empty. Her body could be pale, unnaturally cold to the touch, and her breath barely noticeable. Sometimes she had a second row of teeth, hidden deep in the mouth. Her fingernails were long, curved, hard as claws. Sometimes she appeared as a shadow on the ceiling, or as mist in the dark, or as nothing more than the feeling that someone is watching. She came in dreams, in the breath on your neck, in the flickering of a candle's flame. Some said you could meet her in the forest. Others said she sat on rooftops at night, waiting, listening, choosing, and once she chose, the slow extinguishing would begin. Not an illness, something else. First the body weakened, then the thoughts, then the light in the eyes. The Strzyga doesn't kill quickly. She devours, piece by piece. People protected themselves however they could. They drove knives into door frames, scattered poppy seeds at the threshold, so she would have to count every grain. They placed red beads near infants, hung garlands of garlic over doorways, placed icons, crosses, and medals above beds. Some burned the clothing of the dead, or covered the grave with lime and ash. They believed pure fire could sever the tie between soul and world. In some places, the coffin was laid face down, so the dead couldn't rise, or filled with thorns, chains, iron nails. In the most extreme cases, the grave was dug up, if the body remained intact, with open eyes and a blush on its cheeks. They suspected a Strzyga. Then a ring was removed, a hawthorn stake driven through the heart, the head cut off and buried separately, or the body burned completely, with garlic, poppy, and herbs. But these were only temporary measures, because if the Strzyga had two souls, she could return, again and again, until the last person who remembered her forgot. She doesn't want memory. She doesn't want sympathy. She wants life. Today we say, old wives' tales. Today we laugh at grandma's stories. But sometimes at night, when everything is quiet and the air grows heavy, maybe it's worth remembering. Some shadows are hungrier than others, and that the Strzyga doesn't knock, doesn't ask, doesn't beg. She simply stands there and watches. And you? Have you heard the legend of the Strzyga before? Do you believe such creatures could have existed? Or might her shadow still linger somewhere? Do you know other dark figures from Slavic mythology worth exploring? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Tell us who the next episode should be about. And don't forget to glance over your shoulder. Someone might be watching.